Dun, dun. As someone that played the triangle, that's really important to me, that part. Go for it.
Like that single part.
Oh, the little glockenspiel action.
I tried to play the recorder when I was younger. Keyword being tried.
Recorders are awful.
Except when he uses them.
Oh, well, by the way, welcome everyone.
Just.
Oh no, what happened? I muted the wrong thing. I pressed the wrong button. Well done, Maude. Welcome to the Maudalorian. Yay! I am joined by the wonderful Amy Ratcliffe. She's not only working at Nerdist and has done amazing things over there on nerdist.com, but she's also an author of not one but 3 Star Wars books. And hold on, are we going to show? Did you have one on hand?
Yeah, I do. I was ready for show and tell. I was like, whoa.
Oh, look, we've done it all. By our powers combined, we have them.
Yay!
So we're not only going to be talking about season 2, episode 7, The Believer, which is the Mandalorian recap, what we've just seen, but we're also going to go into all of Amy's books, and we're going to chat a little bit about this massive slate lineup that Disney has just announced during their big day yesterday with Marvel and Star Wars. So we'll go into some Star Wars stuff. But what I like to do, oh, big hello. Oh, look, everyone. Oh, look.
Hi, everyone.
Hello there. Everyone's another. Oh yeah. I read. My mother didn't realize that there were Star Wars children books, and so a couple of Christmases ago, she sent me, kids books, and so I decided to read them on my channel on May the 4th this year. Yeah, I did a full on hold it out and turn time. It was great.
I love it.
Yeah, look at this. We got fans in here. Thank you, Nick. Amy is she is super knowledgeable. Yes.
I am. My hair is doing things. Okay.
Yeah, that looks beautiful. We do need to do another one. So the first thing that I like to do when we do a recap on the episode is out of 10. What do you give it? Everyone weigh in. Out of 10. Where are we at?
Whoa. So much action in this one.
Yeah.
Rick Fumiya did a great job too.
I do like it.
I give it like a 7.
Okay. What were your last 2? Do you think that the last 2 episodes were a little stronger then?
Yes. Because I think we just had a lot of lore things, which is kind of my Star Wars to dig into. And this was very action focused, very we got a mission, we got to go, which I enjoy, but not quite as much.
It's a filler episode. This is we need one small mission so we can do the big thing. This is the penultimate. I know this because I do campaigns, and I'm just there's so many similarities with story writing with is it going to D&D having episodes in campaigns and side quests like that every single time. I'm like, what kind of mission will this be? We had you take care of the crate dragon and I will give you the armor that you're looking for. We've had the escort mission. This was the retcon extraction mission. Gain the intel from an enemy base. And it's simple enough. They have to build out the team to do it. I love the fact that they do keep tying in moments and characters from season 1 back into season 2. But this was, for me, it was about a 7.5. It was a bit filler, and that's I want to say that's okay. But we've only got 1 episode left of the season.
I think it's okay because it gets us to where we're going, and in the midst of that, I think we had some really good character things with Din and even Migs too, and just getting kind of this perspective on the Empire. So that yes, in fact, they're terrible.
This was, Nick. Yes, you're correct. The very first episode where we didn't have our small little green boy.
Actually, that just knocked it down for me. That's a good point.
I felt the lack of presence there, but we did get Din brown eyes. So, but look at that boy. Look at that sweet, sweet boy.
We need him in every episode. I love him so much.
Yeah, and right at the end with the holograms, I kind of was like, Din, shut up. Don't tell them what your weakness is, your vulnerability, because they will exploit that. He means more to you. You will ever know. He's not supposed to know.
That is 101. Whatever that lesson would be, don't do that. Play your cards. Keep them. What is that cliche? Keep them close to your vest. Din. Also, just surprise him.
Sorry, I think I froze just then.
Oh, you're back.
I think I froze just then. I don't know what's going on. I'm hardwired into my internet, and yet it just has little sneezes and hiccups from time to time. Oh. Stephen Summers weighing in. I'd say filler, if not for the emotional moment of Mando taking off his helmet for Grogu. I think that's a big moment for his character and proof of how far he's willing to go for Grogu. I think that we've kind of the foundation has definitely been laid for why the need of the helmet was so important, but then the introduction of the other Mandalorians who just totally shone the light on his culture, and it was like, oh, nah, buddy, that's just you. That's just a small sect of Mandalorians that really truly believe in that. It's not really a thing for the rest of us, but you do you, boo. And I think that kind of rocked him.
I think and it came up in this episode too, even with Miggs, is just he's kind of questioning, like, this is the only thing I've known. This is the way that I have known, but it's not. I can grow, and I will do anything for my little boy.
I wrote down, because I write notes when I watch it, and I almost felt like Mayfeld, like having that conversation where it's just like, why, buddy? Why is this so important? And it really does have that correlation to religion. It's like, what are the structures that you confine yourself by? And he was kind of like, so what is it? What's the rule? Is it that you can't take your helmet off? Is it that your face can't be seen? Because they're two very different things. Which rule are you living by? And I could kind of feel that, like, it was almost not mocking, but there was this confrontation. There was this, I don't know, there's another C word that I'm thinking of that's just escaping me right now, but there was absolute tension where he was just like, come on, dude, like, if these are your rules, what even are they?
Yeah, you should be able to stand up for them and define them, when in fact it seems like some of it is a little arbitrary. And I feel like that applies to a lot of things in life. We put all these, like, this is a very basic example, but a friend was like, I put up Christmas decorations early this year because I am into it. I want to celebrate. And a friend was like, oh, the rules say you can't, like, put them up after November. I'm like, whose rule? Like, you're just making that up for yourself. And if that's what you want to do, fine. But I'm going to have sparkly lights and I'm going to be cheerful.
Yeah, do what makes you happy. And I think that in this instance, it was like, sometimes you're just going to have to break or bend or be flexible. Or honestly, I really felt like there was an adaptability thing happening here. It's like, you just got to adapt. And if you need to take your helmet off to get into this base because they're great, there's always the mission of the greater good. And it's so funny that in a later scene, we actually hear that the Empire's sort of mindset sits with the greater good. Ugh. But
they think they're bringing order. Who cares if thousands of people die in the process if we have rules?
Mm-hmm. Mayfield has a point, as much as he was rubbing Mando. Yeah, I know. It wasn't compassion. It was provocative. It was like, come on, dude, why? Tell me. And part of me was like, that's his belief. He's not hurting you. But then at the same time, it's like, why do you do it?
Why?
Yeah. Brad saying, bring nuance to the Star Wars universe. Absolutely. I did love Boba saying that the Empire would recognize his face.
Yeah, he doesn't follow that helmet rule, so they've probably seen him a few times. I did like that list of, like, Fennec's like, I'm wanted, I can't.
Yeah, that was really fun. Like that checklist of like, nope. Fine, no one's seen there. And I liked that. I liked, actually, there was two, like, initially it was like, all right, we have to go with you. What are you going to do? And then it's like, oh, he's going to wear a stormtrooper helmet. And then it's like, oh, wait, no, we really do have to take it off. He can't keep ducking and weaving around this.
I know. And look, I love Pedro Pascal for a lot of reasons, but it's just, I would like to see his face more than one time a season. So I was like, take it off. I know your beliefs, sure, but take it off.
That's a really great point, though. I mean, I've got a image of it right here. And I know we're skipping around and I try to talk in order, but this moment was amazing because I've originally been under the belief that I think his presence was so sort of powerful, and having that detachment and that stoicism really did help Din. I think that Mando's sort of essence was captured, and it was enough. And then he took his helmet off, and the tiny little worried movements when he was backed into a corner and was asked information he wasn't privy to, and it showed panic. And I was like, so every time I've heard silence before, he is just having this facial dialogue of panic and like confusion and all of these emotions. And I was like, oh no, the show's so much better when I can see him.
He is such a talented actor. And I think I saw a tweet about this, and I pardon me because I don't remember who it was from, but just said, like Pedro Pascal does physical discomfort. He portrays it really well. And I'm like, physical and mental. Like, he's in so many situations he doesn't want to be in, between when he's getting scanned, when he's talking to the officer, and he's just talented.
Yeah. But we saw something that we'd never really seen before. And that was, I mean, we kind of seen some vulnerability, but there's no connection with that vulnerability. So now we had like connected vulnerability. And I kind of want to ask all the chat, and I want to ask you, Amy, as well. What did you say? What was your first words when he took the helmet off and you saw his face in that moment? Because I wrote down mine.
Oh, you did? Nice. I didn't write mine down, but I just kind of did like a moment. I was like, he had to.
Hey, beauty.
So it kind of was, it's so nice to see you.
I know, he's just so beautiful. I was like, look at this beauty happening here.
And but really not much of a helmet hair situation. Like, it just looked nicely like mussed and not a mess.
Yeah. He's just really quite sweet. Oh, Stephen Summers was, oh boy. Oh, no. We had a big gasp over here. Nathan went, God damn it. Sherry says the things you do for your child. But we have had a big helmet reveal moment once before in Star Wars, and that was for The Force Awakens with Kylo Ren. Now, because with the first half of that movie, he was hidden behind a voice actor, like a voice sort of like modulator, and this sort of like helmet that we'd not seen before. And then he took the helmet off. And a big part of why I do not like Kylo Ren as an antagonist is because both times I saw that movie in cinemas, the cinema erupted in laughter.
Oh no, not the reaction you want.
And it just sort of softened every kind of hard line that they were trying to form with this mega villain. Like, you have Darth Vader. We know who he was before the helmet went on, but that presence was just so fear-inducing.
Yeah,
and then the reverse, and it was just like, oh.
Yeah, if you're gonna use a helmet like for a villain like that, like leave it on. We didn't see Vader till the very end, and even he was still pretty intimidating because obviously he'd been through some things.
Yeah.
But Adam Driver, like, that took me. I was like, oh, this doesn't line up for villain for me.
Tyler took his shirt off, and the shippers came out, and the memes came out, and the spam came out. That's for sure.
I really remember the memes.
Thank you for agreeing here. So that was a huge moment. And now that he's sort of taken that step, Din, do you think that we are going to see a lot more flexibility with wearing the helmet?
I think so, especially like I really want him, because he hasn't had the helmet off around Grogu. And I really want him to have like an eye to eye, like just to watch Grogu act.
Yeah. Oh, there you are, Peter.
What you look like. That would make me cry because it'd be so cute. But I think we are building to a moment where he gets baby back and has and whether I think it'll be his decision. I don't think it'll be like a situation like this episode where he's kind of forced into taking his helmet off or making that call. Like, it'll just be like mainly like
his own decision. Yeah. Edie makes such a great point, and this is what we talk about with vulnerability. Gosh, to him, he's naked, and that is the most exposed that you can be and vulnerable. And so, yeah, this is obviously really solidifying his love for little Grogu, and just, I don't know, hearing him be like, the selling point to get Mayfeld as well, which is like, it's got the little green guy, not the little green guy.
I know.
Yeah.
Everybody understands.
Everyone gets it. So heading back over to what this looks like, the mission. So obviously we have, I like to say that in this particular moment when he's realizing he's had to take off the helmet and he's got the stormtrooper get up on, or whatever, forest trooper, whatever this outfit is. But I was like, is Din having an adult tantrum? Because you know how he's trying to talk to him and he's being silent the whole time. I was like, this is a full-blown tantrum happening right now. He's got the Suki Lalas, as we call it in Australia.
And now I like picturing like under that helmet, like he's just like, ugh, just not happy about anything in that situation. And I wonder if that armor fit too. Like, these are things I thought.
The other ones was a bit stonky.
And somebody's made a comment about Bill Burr, which I agree, because I actually didn't know who Bill Burr was until Mandalorian, and then coincidentally saw him in something else over the summer. And out of Mandalorian, you're like, how did this guy get in Star Wars? I don't understand. But in Star Wars, I'm like, yeah, you fit right in.
Oh, the clone truckers. Oh, my bad, Luther. You're exactly right. Yes. Yeah, he hated that armor. He couldn't rely on it in the fight. And that was really interesting. As soon as he got up and he deflected the bolt, and it was like, ow!
This armor is basically useless.
That's it. And he had to completely adapt his fighting style. And again, what is this? This is like another version of vulnerability. Your armor not working and you actually being able to get hit. Like, it's actually it's good character development for Din here. I do like that. Nick Anderson calling me out, saying I know all about tantrums. Yes, I did have a tantrum yesterday when I was playing Among Us and someone killed me within the first 8 seconds and no one saw it, even though it was in front of 5 people.
Well, that doesn't sound like, that sounds like you deserve to have a tantrum.
Oh, I tan to the trummed. Seb saying that Bill Burr is so good in this episode. I mean, yeah, they brought him back, and I get why they brought him back, and it was nice.
When I like his inability, like while Mando's sitting there stoic under his helmet, wondering how he got into the situation, Mayfeld is just, I'm going to like, he's like, he has nervous chatter and just can't stop talking. And is, like you said, using that to be like, I'm just going to keep pushing your buttons until I get a response. But I do feel like it's like nervous, like I can't help myself. I'm just going to keep talking.
Yeah. I mean, he's reluctant to be here. He doesn't want to. It was, where did they go? They went to
Earth. I know. I'm like
Morak.
Oh, Morak. Yes.
To get to the internal Imperial terminal. I remember they said that. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a mouthful. Yeah. Okay. I like that. I'm just, my notes all the way through it. I can't get enough of Slave One, is what I said. So every time I see it, I'm just like,
interior. Like seeing the inside of that ship and the way it like wrote, like, come on.
Yes. And this is like where Dave Filoni is being like, hey, look, I know everyone wants to forget that the prequels happened, but there's some pretty cool shit in there. And why don't we just, use that? And they seismic charged at the.
That's one of my favorite like sound effects in Star Wars. And so I was like, yes,
it's so good. Guardians Mocag, what's that? Mocag? Guardians Mocag? Help me out with that one, Seb.
Help me out. Yeah, so it's a Guardians of the Galaxy thing.
Glad Mayfield had an arc. That was nice. Imperials are people too, sometimes. Yeah, but they really drive in that, it was okay. So there is a point where they are driving basically a truck full of highly explosive resources. What is it? It's
Ridonium.
And the pirates are out and they're taking them out, which is cool because it's like, yeah, bring down the bad guys. But it's like, oh, wait, we're not the bad guys. We're actually doing something else and we're going to take down that whole base, just ease up a little bit. But to see sort of them interact with troopers, disguising themselves as troopers, mean that we actually flip this perspective and see the troopers as heroes for the first time, and that they are on the side together, and those interactions of respect, of like order, of camaraderie. When they get out of the truck, they're getting pats on the back,
cheered.
And it's just like, this is a different side. And I think that's something that Star Wars in the expanded world, especially with books like Lost Stars by Claudia Gray, we are seeing that behind these helmets, they're real people, and they truly believe that they are doing the right job. They have families, they have their own goals and aspirations, and that it's not a purely evil thing. It's business, it's work, it's a career to them. And I think that seeing that side was really, really interesting.
I agree. Lost Stars is a great one, and if anyone has read Inferno Squad, which is the kind of the book starring Iden Versio, featuring Iden Versio, who stars in Battlefront 2, it's very much the same because you see, okay, she grew up with an imperial like family, how she got into it, and kind of the ways they talk to themselves about, well, okay, well, this is why Alderaan happened, and kind of try to logic it in a way that where you get into their heads enough, you're like, I don't agree with you at all, but I can see how you fell into this organization, why you're still there, and to keep watching though as we get closer towards where we are in Mandalorian timeline, just sometimes the mental hurdles they do for themselves to kind of keep convincing themselves like, oh, the Imperials, like order, we're still doing something right. And of course, I think some of them are flat out evil, but I think there are a lot of them who are just like, this is the thing I did to get off my planet, or I went into the Empire because my father was in the Empire, and that's what I'm doing. And it's fascinating, and I'm glad we're seeing more of that on screen, because you could tell Miggs was like really torn up when he was talking to, which I'm getting ahead of ourselves, but the officer about his past. I was like,
yeah, that. And it's like I'm also in that mindset where it's like, this isn't I mean, there's so many millions upon millions of people that are kind of spread out across the galaxy working for the Empire. And the fact that there's a resurgence here and they're rebuilding it and people are signing up and they're doing it and it's all great. It's like they must have a very good internal infrastructure to like a reward system or, whatever it is. But it's like, it's effective because people
signing bonus.
Or is it this whole thing where they are running by fear and it's like, you can either join us or die, or join us or we're going to, suck the planet's resources out. And it's like, is it a survival thing? Like, we don't really know. But like, Finn's point of view in the trilogy, the last 3 movies, was really interesting like that as well, where he just didn't think he had a choice. And then when he allowed himself a choice, it was kind of like, whoa, there's so much more to what I thought I was confined to. So I thought that was best as well. There you go. They have the best recruitment team. They have a 401k. They have dental.
I feel like they do probably publish some excellent propaganda still, even after the Emperor's gone. Well, gone, or whatever he is at this point.
Order and stability above all. And in a world with like depleted resources and sort of like, poverty, order and stability is such an appeal to a lot of people,
Yeah.
And providers.
I think when we've seen the galaxy go through that a little after the Clone Wars, where Palpatine was able to be like, the Jedi have just been causing you all problems with the Separatists, so I'm here to clean things up for you. So I just feel like you went from that war to the Galactic Civil War shortly thereafter, and the galaxy's like, yeah, if you can give us order for real this time.
Yeah. Again, that's another Claudia Gray book with Bloodline, where it's like, that's where they're sitting as well. And it's like, they're so close, but hold on. If we're just redistributing the power to someone else to have total power, are we really changing the system of governance? Yeah. That was interesting. I like what Nick said here. I hope the costume team wins some awards. I've been so impressed with how every character is dressed, especially the cable knit sweaters on Mon Calamari. Listen, they get cold.
So happy. Nick, I still look at pictures. I saved a picture of Mon Cal Sweater Man, as I like to call him, at my desktop, so that I can just once in a while look at him and be like, oh, I just love that this exists in Star Wars.
That's so cute. So let's talk about the major moments that we had. Obviously, we spoke about Pedro Pascal's beautiful brown eyes coming into it. Just how much range that he now has. I love seeing the fact that Mando doesn't have all the answers all the time with everything, and that he has, he looks uncomfortable, but that the mask literally masks so many of his emotions, so he always seems in control. So that was super interesting. But then we do go here, Valen Hess, I think his name is, and we have a really interesting dialogue. Now, initially it was like, you've got the guy in charge exerting power, who's just like, I haven't dismissed you, no. And it's like, oh God, this is where it's going to unravel. But then he wants to celebrate and have a drink. And that's when Bill Burr here, Mayfield, just gets it's got an itch to scratch. And this is a time where he's just like, look, I've been given a chance. And I loved that moment where he goes, it's not necessarily right or wrong, it's how you sleep at night. It's what you do to be able to sleep at night. And I think that by all accounts, this means he just hasn't been sleeping very well, He's got a chip on his shoulder and he's feeling like he could right the wrong. As a D&D player, where I'm like, cool, you're talking to the big heavy wig who can click his fingers and shit happens, and you kill him in a public space in the home base. Oh, God.
We have to roll so high.
And the rest of the party's like, come on, don't do it.
I just had someone do that in my D&D game last weekend, like this big, and we're like, what have you done?
Yeah, I shoot him. No, don't do it. Rolling. Oh, God, would you roll? 3. Oh!
It was bad.
It was that, which I kind of, again, I would love to sort of do this dissertation on like how this season just has played out like a D&D campaign. But I thought,
please pitch that at some point.
Seriously, if only I write. I'd rather talk about it than write about it. Oh, we got new names coming in here. Thank you so much for dropping on by. Galactic Popmark as well. New paint job.
Oh, Boba Fett's armor.
Oh, looking so fly.
Yeah,
I have a picture of that.
I can't wait to get this action figure. Which will probably be part of Mando Monday announcements, I would assume.
I had Boba Fett as a kid. He was banged up. He needed actually a good paint job because it was one of those pow, 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 pow kind of situations. But I totally had him. So that's really cool. But I mean, Beskar, I'm guessing what you just and it gets
buff it up.
Because it looks brand new and it looked terrible before.
It had seen better days, being chewed up and spit out of a sarlacc.
Does he have like an armor shining kit in the Slave One?
I feel like it's very possible. I feel like maybe that's just part of a rule of having Beskar armor. You get it when you get the armor, just like a bottle that's called like, oh, I can't even think of a good name right now. But it's your
we did speak about the seismic charges. So good. And of course, like, okay, the TIE fighters, I do like that they reinforced that stormtroopers can't see, which is why they're aiming so bad. But these TIE fighters literally were shooting on either side of Ridonian, which is like a highly volatile, like explosive. And it's like, people, I was like, God, TIE fighters, what are you doing?
That's like, I'm like, you're not known for having good aim.
Yes.
This is going to end poorly.
But then they come out at the end and it was like, yeah, just drop off the seismic load and so good. What's the sound again? I'm so glad you asked, Seb. Amy, do you want to shall we?
Oh. No.
It's more of a wong. Is that?
That's much better.
Oh, the TIE fighter sound? Do you want to know the TIE fighter? Is that what it was? Yeah. Get very into my sounds. Thank God I didn't miss this time. What? Yay. Yeah, those pirates were persistent.
They were
ding, you're like, okay.
Well, they called them pirates, but I feel like it's interesting because from the villager perspective, they weren't trying to steal the Ridonium. They were trying to blow it up. So I feel like they were more, to the Empire's eyes, like insurgents.
Rebels,
yeah, basically.
That's what the rebels are. That's what they do. They infiltrate to try and, immobilize the big base camps, especially with mining and things like that.
Yeah, they're not using that stuff for anything. The Empire's just using that to make more weapons, like terrible weapons that will wipe out, cities or planets. So yeah, blow it up.
I love it. The Empire has no safety standards. How many of their structures don't even have guardrails next to big open pits?
You're right.
Where is the safety officer in the Galactic Empire? Like, who's the safety officer? Because they're bad at their job.
Yeah, just the lack of guardrails like that. That's not on. That should be on a checklist. Like that feels like very basic. So
the Death Star. This is a very, very dangerous web. It can blow up planets. And we're going to put someone next to the charge that as it shoots out of the Death Star, is he going to be right next to it? Is he going to be in the range of the radiation, would we say? I had this whole bit when I was on SourceFed where it was like talking about that guy where it's like he goes to do the job, he presses that one button and then he's dead. like because the radiation and like being that close to that ray has to be deadly. And I was like, they draw short straws, and it's like, all right, who's gonna press the button for this next fire?
Clearly, their safety guidelines are not part of their benefits package, or like whatever they get to recruit people. They're not mentioning.
Well, I mean, it makes a great point how the Empire sees these people. It's like, yeah, they sacrifice themselves for this. They're heroes. And he's like, are you still a hero if you're dead?
Oh, that was, and then like not just like one or two people. Mick said what, 5,000 to 10,000? It's like, yeah, but we're still here. It's like, no, that's the wrong way to think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the family gets a big payday. Thank you. They get a D- for safety. Safety officer, fell down the pit. Yeah, it was super interesting. I really love sort of like this world building where we just see sort of like the intricacies of the universe in this way. That's
Ooh, sorry.
Ooh.
That was me telling me I got into the PlayStation store where everything is still out of stock. It's fine. I don't get my hopes up anymore, but I forgot to turn it off.
I still don't. I didn't get a PlayStation 5 or the new Xbox. But I'm doing all right. I still got so many games to play. We're all good. One Glambring says, I'm not being funny, but would you tell Palpatine that he has unsafe working practices? I wouldn't tell Krennic. I wouldn't tell Moff Tarkin. I wouldn't. No.
I've yet to think of an Imperial officer that I'd feel comfortable voicing any kind of concern to. So that's actually a valid point.
Yeah. Let's have a look at what other pictures we have. That's kind of the episode. So now that they've got the coordinates for Moff Gideon, so that obviously this is like the setup for the next episode. We know exactly how this is gonna. We don't know exactly how this is gonna end, but we do know that we've got Boba et al. The whole team there. We do not have Mayfeld anymore. It was a one and done, as they usually do with a lot of guests in episodes. But yeah, Boba and. Why am I, if it's not Fennec. Yeah. I was Fennecking and Krennicking all in my head at the one time, and it was very confusing. Confusing place to be. But we know that at least those three are going in to save Grogu, and they are going to take down Moff Gideon on the new Imperial. What's the new Imperial ship called?
Some kind of cruiser that I don't remember the specific kind of cruiser.
I wrote it down a couple of weeks ago when we saw it because I was like super fascinated by it. Yeah, it's in there somewhere.
I know. I'm like, did I write it down last week? I'm really, Star Wars vehicles are not not good.
I mean, he still doesn't have Razor Crest. Like, that's done. So he's going to need a new ship somehow.
Did you see? So there's a Lego Star Wars advent calendar, and the day after that Mandalorian episode was the Razor Crest.
That's really funny.
And I was like, it has to be coincidental. I was just like, oh, what a slap in the face.
Oh, that's funny. So what do we need then? What do we need in next week's episode? Let's do some guessing.
I need so much. For the most important thing is I need Grogu to be back safe with Mando, but I really need Bo-Katan. I would like Bo-Katan to show back up. Is this going to be a showdown for the Darksaber, or is that going to happen later? I think that's really, as long as Grogu's okay, I'll feel okay. They can't leave us hanging a whole year thinking that the Empire still has Grogu.
Here we go. Boom.
Go.
What do you want in the finale? Sith Grogu? Oh, don't want that.
No, Nick.
No, Nick.
No.
Oh, I can't have both. That's annoying. Why don't I make it a ticker?
Ooh.
She's getting fancy over here.
Look what you're doing. I love it.
Do they get Grogu back, or is it a prolonged cliffhanger?
I would be so angry if it was a prolonged cliffhanger.
I got upset when these death droids came down and manhandled Grogu and then zipped off. And I was like, not my boy. And then when Gideon was talking to him and he's like all tired from messing with his toys and he had to have a little napski.
Those little tiny shackles. Like, no.
What do we got here? Gaffer Stick and Beskar Spear. being brought to Blaster Fight. I'm really excited about a Beskar spear going up against a Darksaber.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I could get behind that for sure.
We're going to see a Darksaber. We're going to see a showdown. So far, Gideon's bested in a very near-death experience for our Dindin here. So that's kind of like it'll be a 2.0 between those two. Boba versus the Dark Troopers.
Oh, I like that too. Especially Boba and that gaffy stick is pretty. I mean, he's fearsome regardless, but whew,
they ramped up the sound effects for it to be like thwonk and thwack. Like it was so hard with the hits. I loved it. But I like this because if these Dark Troopers are indeed sort of like clones, you've got OG clone versus brand new model.
And I do want to see, like, we don't know for sure that they're force sensitive yet, but we suspect it. And I believe in Legends they were. So I'm like, if we see the Dark Troopers again, which I assume we will, I would like to see that aspect of it.
Oh, I would love to see Grogu run. Oh my God. I don't think I'm even emotionally equipped to read that out loud.
Just in that episode early on, I think. Was it the first episode where where Grogu gets taken away and Mando has to like bargain to get him back, and then like Grogu just like runs back to him. It's so cute.
So cute. Well, Grogu can run, he just waddles.
Yes.
He waddles so cute. Mando talking to Moff on the hologram was so badass. We were talking about that, the Wrestling Hound, where it was like, you know, he was making a point like, I'm coming for you. But it's like rulebook 101, you don't let them know you're coming. They'll prepare. You don't say you have something that I need more than anything else and I care more about this than you'll ever know. You don't do that. You don't give it more power. Like, Din's not thinking.
He's thinking he's emotional.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's like the demasking has like let everything else flood in.
Oh.
I agree with Seb. Let's get some Baby Yoda action. I want to see some, you know, I want to see some good Jedi stuff. Maybe he's just been napping the whole time and he's been like, you know, preparing his reserves.
I like that. Resting. But it makes me sad when I have to see him like take down stormtroopers because I'm just like, no, baby, don't get too used to that.
Yes, that's going pathway to the dark side. What if Grogu finally speaks?
Ugh.
Thankful I am.
That's another one. I can't even read or process that. Just
melts. Maybe the Jedi that got called out by Yodito? What's Yodito?
That's was another name in addition to Baby Yoda for the little one, Yodito.
Oh, that's cute.
It is very cute.
Oh, yeah, of course. He sent out that signal. So which Jedi are going to be attracted to that?
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see that. And I would think so. I'm like, how? It's weird that there's one episode left because there's a lot.
Nathan reckons that Angry will get viewed in season 3. We've got quite a few of these, actually. I'm going to go through them nice and quickly. I want Baby Yoda being carried by Mando in his Mando helmet. Damn, that's good. We're going to get a glimpse of the Jedi who heard Grogu's call. Nice. I think Mando gets the Darksaber, but Grogu's still kidnapped. Interesting. And that he was going to use the Darksaber to employ the Mandalorians to help him get Grogu back continued 2.0. Interesting because he's got leverage now. I wonder if Mando is going to claim the Darksaber and if season 3 will explore the implications for Mandalore. Love it. Do you think a Jedi will pop up responding to Grogu's meditation, like a Quinlan Voss? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, he still is around. That's as far as we know. That's right.
Grogu's first word will be
no.
What if Grogu does a double take when he sees Mando's real face? And then he calls him Grogu and he's like, yeah. Oh, cute.
That little sound.
All I could think was, give me back my son. And Thierry says, what I do have are a particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. That was my best Liam Neeson.
It's good. What if we get Qui-Gon? Oh, it's not going to happen. But that'd be cool. As a Force ghost.
And he's like, I have a particular set of skills.
Yes, exactly.
What if Mando starts sobbing uncontrollably when he sees Baby Yoda again? We all will be. We all will be. I hope 8 is longer than 30 minutes. What
Please.
if he says, Dad? Maude for Grogu? Sure. We got Ezra or Kyle Katarn that's being trained by Luke. I need to know a little bit more about Kyle Katarn, I think. Quinlan Vos or Kyle Katarn showing up would be epic. Can you give me the 1-2 on Kyle Katarn?
He's from Legends. I know that much. I don't know Legends as well as I know the current storytelling universe. I can't remember what he's from. Is he? No, he's not Force Unleashed. I'm sure someone will let us know.
Let us know. Give us the 1-2. If Quinlan Vos is alive, then so is Ventress.
Ventress is super not alive.
Super not.
Sorry. Spoiler. Maybe
that ball is coming back. Yeah.
Oh, he saved it.
I agree. Mando isn't thinking when he sent a message to Gideon, but I think he was intimidating him by repeating his speech from the first season back at him. Oh, Lewis coming in with the goods. Was it? Is that verbatim what he was saying the first time? Oh, I like that. That's why we check comments and we have people like Lewis in there helping us out. Awesome. Look, we're getting Hayden Christensen, so anything's possible, said Stephen. Amy and I collectively lost our shit at that news.
Oh my gosh. That was all like, I was covering it for Nerdist, so it was just like go, go, go. But just once in a while, like I would be like, remember Hayden Christensen is back?
Hayden freaking Christensen. Oh, Kyle Katarn is like Han if he was a Jedi. Oh.
Well, he sounds pretty cool.
Grogu doing his ult move and wipes out the entire Empire troops. I would love. I think that we're going to have some sort of like. I like that you call it an ult move, but yeah, I get that. Oh, he's still only Legends, right? Good to know. I thought because what was Kanan's name before it was Kanan?
Caleb Doom.
That's what I was getting mixed up with those two. Caleb Dune. Shadows of the Empire, N64, and books. Oh, I only know the game. Got it. That's where he made his appearance. Thank you. What if Gideon chokes on the ball? Jawbreaker?
Giancarlo Esposito would act the heck out of that too.
Grogu makes the ultimate sacrifice and heals a serious wound on Mando, which leaves Din heartbroken, and thus he retires. Interesting. Who knew that blasters ran out of ammo? It does charge. It's like a battery draining in a way. Zelda, you're snoring so loudly, my love.
I like when he threw it. That was like an Indiana Jones did that too once, just threw a gun at someone when it was out of bullets.
Yeah. Instead of a Jedi, the Night Sisters answer Grogu's call.
Ooh.
So for those that don't know and haven't seen the Clone Wars, the Night Sisters are where Asajj Ventress learnt her skills. They're basically like a sect of witches. I think, is it not the same planet as where Maul's race? It's like the Knights and the Sisters almost, like they have their segregations and they have their training in those like camps. I thought it happened on the same planet, and it happens to be the same planet where Rancors are from.
Yeah, Maul and his brother. Some Zabraks are from Dathomir, and then others are from Irdonia.
Oh, I love this shit.
Nerd.
Sisters are dead, right? I'm watching Clone Wars again at the moment, so I'll tell you in about 2 months. Or you could look it up. Dathomir, thank you. New Rockstars theorized that you can see someone talking to Grogu during the fight last week. Oh. They're really good with their red circles and arrows pointing to it. So, I really enjoy what that they haven't wasted any time at all and just dive straight into the meat of the story. Disagree?
You're like, nope.
At least 2 Night Sisters are alive.
Yeah, because that one was in Fallen Order, Marin.
I didn't finish that game. I thought it was clunky.
watch a lot of video games through my husband playing them because video games make me feel sick to my stomach.
Yep, motion, that'll do it. That'll do it. So I would like to get that take the conversation over to some pretty nifty books that you have written. This was your first book, and this is what I have a copy of because you were super kind enough to send me one. So I'm going to show you in the flesh. Where did I put it? Right here. Women of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Beautiful, but good on you for recognizing, because the original trilogy, we saw 2 women, 3. Aunt Beru,
Mothma.
Many Boffins died, and Leia, and that was pretty much it. And so I love that you were like, now that we have a much bigger and more vast universe out there, let's shine some light on all of these amazing women of the galaxy. And
the Night Sisters, yeah, 75 of them in that book. Oh, Ray Sloan, I love her, Imperial though she is.
So this is an amazing book. This was the first one. And obviously it's gone so well that Star Wars has invited you back to write a few more. So let's kick things off with this one.
Yeah.
How did this come about? And tell us about the book.
So it goes behind the scenes of Galaxy's Edge, which is the Star Wars theme park area right now at Disneyland and Disney's Hollywood Studios. And it's a bunch of art, as you might guess from the name Art of, just showing ideas that didn't get to make it to the park for whatever reason, ideas that did. And it's just chock full of like hundreds of pieces of art. And I talked to so many cool people, and it just came about from working with Lucasfilm. And I worked at Disney briefly last year and built a really good relationship with Imagineering. And I'm stoked. And that one's out. Art of Galaxy's Edge is out next April 2021.
How many times did you have to go, to visit and to test it all out and to get the experience?
Well, the sad part of it was I didn't start writing the book until after Disneyland was closed this year but the upshot of it was I went a ton before then.
Yeah.
So I definitely had it in my kind of veins, but there were times when I was writing, I'm like, I wish I could just go walk there and look at a thing because a picture's not the same.
Yeah, at all. No, you need to experience it. How many pages is that one? Like, how many big ideas, and what's the coolest thing you learned? Can you share it? Because I know the book's not out yet.
Yeah, no, it's 200 and some pages, and I don't know if I can say the exact number of pieces of art, but it's well over 300. And I was really pleasantly surprised, like the vague teases that Imagineering is pretty secretive normally about just ideas that don't get actually made. And they were very open about this book and very generous with sharing like art and their ideas for different attractions or stores. And I think folks will be really excited. I was certainly, as a theme park Star Wars nerd, like I was like, you're going to tell us all this? Yes.
Dream book there. What's your favorite part of Galaxy's Edge? Personal preference?
The marketplace, actually. I just like wandering around. I think it's beautifully designed. It feels like that's the whole area feels like it, but the marketplace especially makes Batuu feel like it's been around for thousands of years, and you can just see, I don't know, I'm just a sucker for faux stonework and faux aging and weathering. And I love the marketplace for that reason.
Back to Women of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Favorite female characters in Star Wars that you have a soft spot for?
Ventress is one of them for sure. I think Ventress, I just got to the Clone Wars. I'm rewatching an episode where somebody calls her a pretty bald babe at like a cantina, and she's like, no, and shoots them. And I'm like, legend. Ventress is one of them. I love Ahsoka as my favorite ever Star Wars character.
Well, I'm trying to find one in particular.
But I love
is my girl. That's who I'm not thinking of.
I'm excited to see who your girl is.
This is warm. If we could do a guessing game. She's warm. She's close, but not.
Okay. Oh.
Same last name.
Yeah, she's near the back. They're in are they? I think they're in alpha by first name. I should know that.
But okay. I think Satine. That's Sabine. So Satine, where is she? Oh, Sabine's remember got like pages behind. There she is. Oh, she gets one picture. So
I know she had more.
Who I am petitioning to star as in a flashback in the Obi-Wan series. I
Yes.
really want to play Satine Cries. And that is why everyone is getting my hashtag going.
I love it. Oh,
Why? So I can
picturing-
I just want to smooch you and McGregor.
Well, that's fair.
Oh, we got favorites over here. These are great. Ventress, Bo-Katan, and Ahsoka. If you don't know those people, watch Clone Wars and get to know those women because they're pretty freaking cool. We got one more book. She keeps making all these books and writing them. This is The Jedi Mind. I love this concept. How did it all come about?
So I worked on Jedi Mind with the same editor who I worked on Women of the Galaxy with. And we wanted to work together again. So that was the selfish start of it. And we were talking about ideas, and I'm very anxious and I worry a lot and think about the past, and mindfulness, particularly meditations on mindfulness, have really helped me. So we kind of started talking about, like, I know mindfulness doesn't exist by that name in the Star Wars universe.
But they have meditation and Zen, though, yeah.
Exactly. And when they talk about the Force, whether it's Jedi or characters like Chirrut or Maz Kanata, it kind of all ties in with mindfulness. So the book has beautiful illustrations, also by an illustrator who worked on the Jedi, Women of the Galaxy, who's one of the contributors. And we just paired quotes from Star Wars with mindfulness exercises. So not everything has art. Wow, I'm terrible. But some of this has beautiful art illustrations of characters. Then there's always like a quote and then like a little exercise so you can try out some different mindfulness tactics, which are.
Did that one come out this year already?
Yeah, just November last month. Yeah.
Yes, fantastic.
Yeah.
And is it where you can buy all books?
Yes.
All books?
Get them everywhere. I especially recommend bookshop.org because they support indie bookstores, and that's cool.
I like that as well. So we had a big day yesterday with Star Wars news, and I thought now could be a really good time to go over some of the big announcements. This was one I just thought we'd bring up because I spoke about the fact that the Obi-Wan Kenobi series is already shooting. It's happening. Apparently there was like a thing about it being shot in Boston, but it's not America Boston. There's a Boston in the UK. So they got that all.
Makes way more sense.
Yeah. It's in Boston? Yeah. It was a long time that I was on Tatooine. Don't listen to it. Okay. But the big announcement for this one was that Hayden Christensen will be reprising his role as Anakin. Well, technically Darth Vader. So who knows if it'll be a flashback. So if they're doing flashbacks, you know what's going to happen. We've got to get that backstory. And I think Dave Filoni would want that because it was a crucial part. But I do know for a fact that George Lucas, and I heard this is a bit of a secret. I heard that George Lucas doesn't like the fact that Jedi fall in love. He was very adamant that there was order and structure, and the younglings are trained from a very young age, so you have no attachment. And so George Lucas doesn't actually like hates Mara Jade, and
yes,
and doesn't like I think this sort of storyline, the story arc. And then Dave Filoni is like, listen, this needs to happen, and here's why. Sure. We'll see that one. How is everyone feeling about Obi-Wan? I think that's the first one that's going to be coming out, right? That's the one that's most in production and going ahead.
I think it's going to be pretty close with Andor.
The next one.
Yay!
Is it going to be about Cassian and or someone else? God.
Yeah, we get Cassian back.
We'll get Cassian back.
Yeah, and Diego Luna, like, it's what a gift.
I know, and I really like that we can expand, even though we know his end, a lot like with what Rogue One was all about. We know the end. How did it start? And I think that it's like, it started with him. All right, so we know where he ends. How does he start? And it's like, keep kind of going back like that. I know that Hector Navarro is thrilled to have more Latino and Latinx representation with the Star Wars universe. And there was a lot of comments about that with the Marvel slate. It's like, cool, where are our Latina heroes? Like, what's happening there? I think that, yes, this does mean more Alan Tudyk, which is great.
Yes, he is. K2's going to be in it.
You know that Alan Tudyk voices Green Arrow in Young Justice?
No.
Dude, neither. Doesn't sound like him at all. Full on. So cool. But yes, more K2SO. That'll be really, really cool. The battle for Andor.
And I hope, because something we know about Cassian is that he was Fulcrum. He was a Fulcrum agent, like Ahsoka is in Rebels. So I hope we get to see more of him being secret agent.
I like that kind of, yeah, because it's like the rebels are trying to band together to, bring down a galactic empire. It's a pretty big deal. But speaking of Ahsoka, it's been announced.
Oh, that part.
How do you feel about that?
I feel excited. I feel that also, Rosario Dawson, like a lot comes with that. And I feel for trans people in the Star Wars community who feel hurt by that. And it's this weird, like Ahsoka is my favorite character. And I liked seeing her in live action, but I'm trying not to let, I don't let that, there's a balance, but Ahsoka. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really valid point, especially when Ashley Eckstein's literally there going,
yeah,
I'm right here. Actually, I'm really glad you mentioned that because I was thinking about that during her Mando episode, but it didn't quite click over into this whole show, and they must have known the whole time. I'm wondering when the decisions were made, because that incident that she had, do I call it an incident or like a attack, was a year ago?
Yeah. We're a year ago, yeah.
Allegations is a really great way to get around that one. Thank you very much. Thank you for putting me with that good word. This one, Star Wars Power Rangers of the New Republic.
Yes.
How do you feel about
it? I hope that it means we get more of Paul Sun-Hyung Lee as Captain, what's his name, Carson Teva.
Oh, isn't that the greatest? Yes.
As long as it means we get more of him. I adore him. He's such a big Star Wars nerd, like 501st cosplayer, like hardcore, and he was great.
Yeah. Well, he also sort of humanized the police. He was like, we're not the bad guys. We've got a job to do, but we can obviously see that you've done good things, so we'll just let this slide. But, I'm a detective and this is my job. It was sweet. It was a really sweet moment, actually. So yeah, that one. And does this mean Dave Filoni is going to be donning the squadron suits more?
Oh, that's right.
It's canon now. That's so funny. And then we got Bad Batch, and someone previously mentioned that they were super looking forward to Bad Batch. This is an animated series where they are talking about the first round of clones, and they are the Bad Batch because they hadn't got the cloning system down completely. And if you remember in the Clone Wars, there's a lot of sort of training. There's a whole system in place to try and create this army that we see flash forward in Attack the Clones. But what's really interesting about this is that, they're banged up. They're
all a little but then they all have their own little specialties too.
And that's what I really like about it. The trailer didn't give so much away, which I'm a little bit bummed about. Yes, Amy?
But did you see it looks like it has Fennec Shand in it. It looks a lot like Fennec.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I was
trying to figure out the clones, the droids, sorry, because there's a couple of things with droids in there as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I want to know sort of that dynamic, when it fits in. Are they going to be kind of what the Bounty Hunter Squad was in Clone Wars, led by a really, really young Boba Fett? But is it kind of going to be your ragtag bunch that are sent out to do all these missions and they have to kind of work together? Who are they really working for? There's a lot of questions that I have for that one. Is Rex in the Bad Batch?
No,
I think he made it through. He's the good batch.
Yeah, yes, the survived batch, which is good. Without
did their biochips activate during Order 66?
Yeah.
Did they even have biochips in
That's
the first
also a good question.
It looks like it was right after Order 66. Oh, I saw proto Death Troopers during the trailer.
Ooh, good eye.
Great concept, bad title. All these bad batches disagree. These bad batches? What are you talking about? When I first saw this sign, when they first announced it and they had a logo, I straight away was just what are we doing? Star Wars, bad bitch. And I was like, yes, I will see that, please. That sounds so good. It's like Aura Singh and Asajj Ventress and like all my bad bitches. Yeah.
Hell yes.
Right? Aura Singh before she got so pointlessly killed in Solo, right? Didn't she?
Oh yeah. Well, we just like, it's not even like, it's like a throwaway that they mentioned that Beckett, like, and I'm like, she deserves better.
Yeah, right? She made an appearance in Phantom Menace. Hello. It was great. And this is not a Star Wars property, but this is something that I still want to bring up. We got a Willow.
I'm so stoked.
What's your relationship to this movie?
I didn't see Willow for the first time till like maybe 4 years ago, and I think it's fantastic. I don't know how I missed out, because I think it's fantastic. I think it's fun. Val Kilmer, one of his best roles in my opinion, and I love the world.
100% is his best role. Mad Mardigan. I'm like, I struggle because I keep saying Mad Mordigan because I think that would be better.
Well, sure, obviously, but I'm
Mordigan.
stoked to have it back, and I think it's really cute. Not cute. It's great. John Chu is directing, and the cute part is that his daughter is named Willow after Willow. So I'm like, oh, it's meant to be.
So I want to call my daughter Elora. After Elora Danan, because I think Elora is such a beautiful name. I first saw Willow way too young. I think I was about 8 or 9. Or maybe I was 7 because my elder brother had nightmares. The pigs, you're all pigs. Like, yeah,
that's true.
Really, really, it fucks you up if you're a kid. Like when they're half pigs. Oh my God, and their hands. But there was just something about it that I fell in love with. There's probably the chemistry between Mad Mardigan and Saoirse, who actually in real life went on to get married because of that movie. So I love that, but I also love John Williams' music. Like the whole thing is just so wonderful and mystical and amazing. And it was directed by Ron Howard, but the story was by George Lucas, which means it falls under Lucasfilm. Something else that I did from this movie, and I'm super proud of this, and we'll wrap up on this note. But I can do a really good impersonation of them.
Oh boy.
Wait, I used to do a really good one. You gotta
nailed it. Yeah.
But that was one of my favorite things to do. I was like, have you seen Willow? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, what am I? And they're like, you're single. And I was like, yes, ma'am. I am. But there you go. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Maudalorian, where we talk all things Mandalorian. We only have one more episode to go, and that will happen next week. Amy, thank you so much for dropping by to talk all things The Believer for Season 2, Episode 7, aka Chapter 15. Nice and confusing for that one. If you didn't catch it, she's written 3 Star Wars books, including Women of the Galaxy.
I've written 5 now, actually.
What are the other ones?
Kids book called Ellie and Me.
Oh, I have a picture of that.
Set on Galaxy's Edge.
I have a picture of that one. Sorry, love.
No, you're good. I'm just excited. And then I contributed, Ellie and Me. So that's a really cute. It is a kids book, obviously, picture book, but I think it's precious.
Send it to me.
And then I wrote a short story from The Empire Strikes Back from a certain point of view. It's my first fiction story.
So we spoke to Preeti Chibba last week, who also has a chapter in that book as well. That is magnificent. All right. So there you go. 5 books you've got to get. It's Christmas time as well. So you've got little ones, younglings, big ones, Padawans. You've got books out the wazoo for that. Amy, you are so incredibly talented and amazing. Thank you for geeking out with Star Wars with me. Where can people find you online?
Thank you for having me. And folks can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Amy_geek. Ellie is cute. The art in this book is adorable.
And I echo the sentence. Thank you so much for coming. We'll catch you next week for the last one. Bye, everyone.